The Captain's Chair. New England in the fall of 1976 was simply October rust. It was a true kaleidoscope of sights and colors accompanied by the fresh smell of fallen leaves, the northeast winds blowing in off the Atlantic, and the smiling faces of jack-o'-lanterns bellowing the early darkness. For little boys and girls, it was one day closer to lots of candy and the Christmas countdown. To a blonde-haired 7-year-old elf from Sidot Drive, it was the time, for it was just about 5 p.m. when the Gardner household stood still and life began, 3 feet away from a Flora model Zenith television set. "Dad, is it time?" the elf excitedly spoke. Little Jimmy knew it was close because his dad's finger was buried knuckle deep in stirring his double Manhattan, the ice cubes clinking the glass as if announcing it. As usual, Dad would grab his son by the shoulders and slide his tiny frame back 2 feet so Mom did not have to remind him he would go blind. "Yep, Jimmy, it's time," his dad said while slurping the excess whiskey off his finger. With the flip of the switch, the screen shimmered to life, and the static before that picture radiated in full focus and color. The channel knob then slowly clicked, one after the other. Dad, that's it. Stop. That's the channel," Jimmy ordered. There he was, his mustard shirt, his pointy-eared friend by his side, the man, the myth, the legend, James Tiberius Kirk. Yes, I was, and still am a Trekkie. Little Jimmy Gardner, a.k.a. the Sidot Drive elf, desperately wanted to be James Kirk, Captain Kirk, the seer of worlds, the savior of civilizations, the man who swooned more ladies than Bond and got more behind than a toilet seat. "Arena!" I cried out, beating my dad to the punch and executing a pumped fist. No one could ever beat me at naming the episodes. For those of you non-Trekkie heathens, Arena was the episode with the Gorn, that silly rubber lizard that hunted the mighty Kirk at the slowest speed you've ever seen. Yep, that one. But to the eyes of a 7-year-old elf, it was, well, fascinating. Ah, yes, the world of Star Trek opened Jimmy's eyes. The mustard shirt, the phasers, the USS Enterprise. The crew of that silver gray spaceship gave him the permission to dream and began his fascination with being a hero. Ironically, 30 years later, he would have a run-in with that man who wore the mustard tunic. But for now, the hero that overcame all odds, illness, and limitations was everything little Jimmy wanted to be, especially as a kid who spent his days lying in a hospital trying to breathe. He was born with severe asthma. Jimmy was always an imaginative kid. It was his tool, a carefully crafted weapon to help him deal with the stress and anxiety of feeling like he was going to die. He created worlds, creatures, and conversations like he saw on his parents' TV. It would ease his affliction and, above all else, provide companionship when he was stuck in a breathing tent. Jimmy never wanted to be alone for much of his young life, but he had no choice. With his ability to dream and his trusty sidekicks by his side, he could take on anything, even a Gorn if he had to. The boy from Sidot was rarely seen without his tattered red squirrel, Rusty, clutched in one hand, and his 7-inch mustard tunic action hero in the other. The Piece de Resistance, his favorite adventure book featuring a pirate mouse set on plunder. With these 3 characters for company, handbook by his side, and a yellow brick road to follow, Jimmy was armed with the most powerful weapon against any foe, that of love and the ability to dream.